You guys are not communicating enough. Let me say this. Yes, we agree. We're not communicating enough. We're not communicating as effectively as we do. That is why we decided to have a much more fresh and innovative approach. The Prime Minister and Cabinet agreed that we set up a STRATCOM, Strategic Communications, led by your Minister, Dato Sri Sabri Chik. He leads this. And so we meet every week to make sure we coordinate our communications in a way that is integrated. So therefore, the STRATCOM, led by Dato Sri Sabri Chik, is a very good platform for doing that. We must do what is called the ADA model for communication. That means advocacy, advocate the good things about our country. So if we believe in our country, we must talk about good things. You cannot all day long spend your time saying bad things about this country. If all day long you say bad things about this country, then nobody will invest in this country. And then we start losing our confidence as a country too. So we must advocate good things about our country. And the second thing is, when people give us criticism that is unfounded, we better defend. Like in a game of football. People want to score, you must have a defender there. You must defend. Sometimes the Brazilian football, the best form of defense to attack. So that means you attack. So there's a time when people are giving you all the information that are not true. There's a time that I think we need to not only just defend but attack. But I think most importantly, we have to find a way how to communicate not with the head, not just with the head. A lot of my story today is about the head, because I'm talking to clever people lah. But really out there, you must talk to the heart too, from here to here lah. So we need to use an emotional way to connect. I'm talking to the experts. You people are the experts in communication. So I'm going to tell you this story in the hope that you take the intellectual discourse that I give to you, and you will then convert the story in a way that is able to communicate it emotionally, what is called emotional connect. We're going to suggest a net geo style of communication to connect the various ministers together with the KSUs and the DGs and the people making the connection. And this is the platform that we intend to work with you, and this is what Dato Sri Sabri and the STRATCOM feels that we should do. It's called the Net Geo style of program. We will do that. For example, if we have a program on ministerial capabilities and effectiveness involving the Home Ministry, so if it is the Home Ministry, then the theme will be about inclusiveness and sustainability. So the public policies and the best practices, for example, a one-stop center. If they put a one-stop center that deals all the problems that are there for biometric lab, for everything, etc., then we will line up the various stakeholders, right from the minister to the DGs, the KSUs, and the relevant officers. They can be interviewed and what they say about it on television. And we can cut them in bite size. Then these stories can go into social media, and you go into YouTube, and it will go into all sorts of things. So this is what we are trying very hard to do. But the idea is to make the communication touch the people so that the people will be interviewed too. Rural infrastructure, the same thing. So we go and make documentary about the village, the people that enjoy the village, including the KTM. There's a lot of stories we can talk. There are 275,000 people who got out from poverty from our work under low-income household. You interview them. I think you cannot even finish the program just to do that alone. You can go out to people to look at even our BRT. Have you read about the BRT in Sunway? Fantastic, 5.4 kilometers. For the first time in history, we now have electric buses, elevated highway on top of there. On time, every single bus is on time because no cars can use the elevated bus lanes. So 500,000 people in that community is benefiting today from it. So 500,000. You can create a documentary about this. You can talk to Liao, who is the minister in charge, and interview SPAD. So the stories can be so many. And to be honest with you, we will run out of space to put the stories about this 23.3 million people whose lives were touched by this work. There's a great opportunity for you to respond to the minister's plea that we use your skills and your capability to tell the story of our country and how he's touched the lives of 23 million people. Go to those villages. Go to Ulu La Chao. And then you will see. In fact, those places, it's quite incredible. In fact, when we were at Ulu La Chao, to La Chao, the Prime Minister was there. The Tua Kampung. He said to him, Dato Sri, your father came to this longhouse to talk about bringing development to my village. He sat there. But unfortunately, your father died. He didn't have the longevity of life to finish what he promised. We are so grateful to you that you have brought and fulfilled your father's wishes, because he declared open rural electrification in that longhouse. Our Prime Minister stood there in the longhouse. I was there. For the first time, when PM spoke, I think at that moment, he was so touched by what was happening there. I think he forgot that he was the Prime Minister. He spoke from the heart, and he was just the little boy of the father who wanted to finish this project and didn't have the opportunity to finish, and he was finishing. That was a very touching moment. You know what I did after we finished that event? I took my phone and called my wife. He said, darling, if everything that we do in Pemandu and the government does not work, the very thing that happened in this kampong today, I am very happy already. Everything else, tak payah, because I've seen how these people appreciated the little things that we're doing in the village. By the way, my village, 10 years ago, was gutted by fire. The whole longhouse burned because someone forgot to extinguish the candle. We don't have electricity. Eh? When the candle fell, and the whole village was gutted, and all of us were homeless. I remember my mother throwing all our pillow outside to keep them there, but most of the things cannot be salvaged. But there are so many stories, real stories about how people have progressed as a result of our work. We are not perfect, but please don't make the perfect become the enemy of the good. Please don't make the perfect become the enemy of the good. There are many good things in this country. I only came to government only for one thing alone. I wanted to make a difference. I'm not a politician. I only want to see that some of the things that we're doing is benefiting the rakyat and is touching the people. I can tell you there are so many people whom we're targeting that are appreciative of this. But sometimes the voice of the angry Malaysians is so loud and damning. It's as if our country is the worst country in the world. I detest that, because I really believe we live in a country that provides so many good things. By the way, Pemandu, we do work for Tanzania government, paid by the British government, US government, the World Bank, and the Swedish government, because they like the methodology, as Dato Sri said. They said, I want Pemandu to assist. So I have 24 people there in Dar es Salaam doing this kind of work. When we look at those countries, we're also helping South Africa. We do some work in Maharashtra state in India. You know how big, in one state alone, 110 million people. One state alone. And our work there is to help how to bring in water for rural people, because they don't have water. So many people in that state don't have access to water. So when I look from outside and look at our country is so blessed. We've never been to war as a country. Very peaceful country. We have natural resources. We're blessed with good people. And so I think let's not throw it away. But I think you play a very, very big part in communication. As the minister has said, it's important for us to communicate the positive things happening in our country. Because if we don't, who else is going to care about Malaysia? Thank you.